Hello everyone. I'm Dr. Rashmi Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, SS Khanna Girls Degree College, University of Allahabad. And this time I'm going to discuss with you a very important topic, that is value education and NEP 2020, means which sort of values NEP 2020 wants to instill in our students. So let's start. If It is well evident that today there is a decline in moral, social, cultural, and spiritual values all around the society. In today's crowded world, in the storm of materialism, in the flood of communal narrow mindedness, in the race of competition, in the storm of selfishness, our moral, spiritual, social, and religious values are being swept away. It is very clear. That is, people are being more and more materialistic, they became narrow mindedness, they are in a blind race of competition, and they became selfish. Because of this decline, there is also a decline in education, because school is a miniature society, and school education system and society are interdependent, have interdependence on each other. In today's society, there is a general decline in moral values, which is apparent in many ways, including indiscipline in education, apathy towards labor, indifference towards self duty, unresponsiveness, etc. Means today there is rampant indiscipline, there is indifference towards labor, indifference towards self duty, and students became unresponsive. As a result, the path of social upliftment is getting deviated. It is common knowledge that education without values will lead to destruction and not to development. Therefore, it becomes the responsibility of every member of society to make efforts toward the inculcation of values in self as well as others. There is a normal decline of values in the society. In India, from the 18th century onwards, there is a trend of decline in traditional intellectual activities and freedom. A lack of enthusiasm for moral and spiritual life and excessive ritualism are visible. This whole process originated for two reasons, namely, first of all, Macaulay minutes, and second, the race towards materialism. As it is well known from the Macaulay's minutes, the objective of imparting education by the British is to create Indians in blood and color, but with interest, thoughts, morality, and intellect as Britishers, which should act as an interpreter between the English government and crores of people. Unfortunately, the education system that started at that time still exists in the same form today, with some only superficial modifications. If we examine this system neutrally and from the perspective of the fundamental foundations of Indian culture, we find that it has damaged four main elements along with disastrous consequences. So let's see what are these four values. First of all, it has put an end to the study of poetry, music, and art, as in it were prevalent in ancient times, the soul of a complete education. Second, this system of education stopped the study of the three elements of the Indian tradition, namely philosophy, religion, and spiritual knowledge. Third, it started the study of world history, some elements of world geography, and modern science, but it presented an effective Anglo approach and disturbed the Indian vision in science, which is part of the overall study of scientific inquiry, in which there was a strong system of the interrelationship between science, philosophy, and yoga. Fourthly and lastly, it abandoned physical education and skill in arts and crafts and other disciplines related to the arts of life, which had been kept alive for ages in India. We have compensated for the damage we have suffered in the areas of education and the wealth of knowledge and skills under this NEP 2020. So, what are values and what is value education? Values are principles that drive our behavior. They influence our actions and attitudes and become our framework for living. They influence our relationship with ourselves and others. Value education is the training of the heart and consists of developing the right feelings and emotions. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche first used the word values in 1880. Until then, the word value was used as a verb meaning to value something or as a singular noun meaning the measure of something. For example, the value of money, food, or labor. As the world is becoming more civilized, education is becoming more materialistic, and all value traditions are being slowly given up. It is an imperative need in the present context that the whole educational system should be restructured to include value education in the process of education. Values are principles, fundamental convictions, and ideals, standards of life that act as a general guide to behavior or as a reference point in decision making. Means values are that norms, that principles which that drive our behavior. We act in accordance to the values we have imbibed. Okay, and what are else? Values are beliefs about what is right and what is wrong and what is important in life. We put priority to that value. It is a set of principles which guide the standard of behavior. Values are desirable and held in self-esteem. They give strength to a person's character by occupying a central place in his or her life. It reflects one's attitude, choices, decisions, judgments, relationships, dreams, and vision. According to Hinze, by values we mean a person's idea of what is desirable, what he wants, because we want what we think is valuable. According to John Dewey, value education means primarily to prize to, esteem to, appraise, holding it dear, and also the act of passing judgment upon the nature and amount of its value as compared with something else. The primary definition of values is the criteria by which anything, an idea, a person, an action, etc., is evaluated for merit. So, what should be the aim of education in this society, which is where there is decline of values? The foremost aim of education must be the overall development of mind, body, and spirit. Thus, there is a great challenge in front of education to take care of the emotional needs of the students and make them balanced adults. It also has to provide solutions to mental problems if they arise in the student's day-to-day life. Education that does not solve our mental and emotional problems does not become a boon for us. It is not enough just to get the material to satisfy the basic needs to develop the intellectual ability through education. Intellectual development and emotional development are two different things, and education inculcate, must nurture both of them. In the modern education system, which has been given to us by the Britishers, there was no provision to deal with the emotional problems of our youth. So, what were the aim of Indian? What were the insight? What were the vision of Indian philosophers on education? So, Indian philosopher Shankaracharya said that education is that which leads to salvation. Even the more recent educationists have stressed the importance of the spiritual aspect. According to them, the meaning of education is freedom from sorrow, grief, misery, agony, and regret. Vivekananda has also said that religion is the innermost core of education. Sri Aurobindo clearly said that the child's education ought to be an outbringing of all that is best, most powerful, most intimate, and living in his nature. The mold into which the man's action and development ought to run is that of his innate quality and power. He must acquire new things, but he will acquire them best, most vitally on the basis of his own developed type and inborn force. M.K. Gandhi has also said that by education I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in a child and man, body, mind, and spirit. Literacy is not the end of education, not even the beginning. It is one means by which men and women can be educated only. Literacy in itself is no education. If we analyze the above all definitions of education, then three meanings are in front of us: that education must possess vocational skills, behavioral skills, and conduct skills as well. So we can classify values in this manner. That is, values can be personal, social, and moral. A personal value means the desires of individuals, whatever they are in the social relationships. Some personal values are excellence, honesty, self-confidence, self-motivation, punctuality, ambition, courage, creativity, and imagination, etc. Social values: individuals cannot live in the world without having interaction with others. People want social values like love, affection, friendship, service, justice, freedom, patience, forgiveness, coordination, sympathy, tolerance, etc. Social values are more important for a healthy and good environment for everyone. Moral values impart respect for others, respecting the rights of others, avoiding unnecessary problems with others, avoiding cheating and dishonesty, showing gratitude to others, and encouraging them to work. In addition to this, there are spiritual values. The ultimate ethical value is called spiritual values. Spiritual values are pity, meditation, yoga, self discipline, control, purity, and devotion to God, etc. Spiritual values highlight the principles of self restraint, self discipline, contentment, reduction of wants, and freedom from general greed. Universal values indicate the essence of the human condition, because if we are human, then we must possess these universal human values. Like, it is through universal values that we link ourselves with humanity and the cosmos. Universal values can be experienced as life, joy, brotherhood, love, compassion, service, bliss, truth, and eternity. Means these values have been served by all people who are human and live on this globe. Cultural values are concerned with right and wrong, good and bad, customs and behavior. Cultural values are reflected in our language, law, social hierarchy, aesthetics, education, philosophy, etc. Then our constitution also wants to instill values in the individuals of India, in the people of India. The Constitution of India provides the most comprehensive statement on the topic of what values must be taught in schools. Article 51A of the Indian Constitution lays forth the basic responsibilities of its inhabitants and emphasizes that all Indians will, what should they do? Promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional or sectoral diversities. Renounce. Indians must renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Indians must protect and improve the natural environment. Indians must develop the scientific temper. Indians must abjure violence, and Indians must strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activities, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. Then our preamble has also some universal values like justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. What is justice? In a just society, one person's liberty does not become another's oppression. Means everybody can live with full freedom and with full justice. For justice to have any real value, it is necessary to distribute power, have empathy for the poor, and look out for the interests of the underdog. Realizing the need of standing up for what is right requires learning about one's legal rights and responsibilities. Then liberty. Our constitution was written with the principle of individual freedom of opinion and action as its core. It's the bedrock of innovation and the testing of new ideas that lead to societal advancement. The hallmark of the civilized society is respect for the rights of its members to pursue their own happiness, including the freedom to hold and express their own opinions. Means in a society which has liberty as a universal value, every individual has right to pursue their happiness, to pursue, to hold and express their own opinions. Respect for the ideas and standing of others, as well as the prohibition against using such freedom of the thought and action to insult or demean those who have them, are the hallmarks of a civilized society. Means if we want to live in a civilized society, we must practice these universal values, that is justice and liberty. The rest two are equality and fraternity. What are they? The Constitution also protects the concept of equality. Without a commitment to racial and gender equality, freedom and justice are empty ideals. It means that everyone, regardless of their origin, gender, culture, or socio-economic standing, has equal access to resources and the protection against exploitation necessary to realize their full potential. Means, irrespective of their origin, gender, culture, and socio-economic status, every person has equal access to all the resources. And fraternity, the core of a university, a community, and a country is fraternity. A society that supports the hopes of all its members must have strong social bonds. Discovering our intrinsic humanity also entails understanding the value of the fraternity or solidarity, as well as the awareness that we all belong to a world community, a country, and a larger community. Realizing our mutual dependency gives us the strength to work towards creating a peaceful country and planet. So our preamble wants to instill these four universal values in all the citizens of India, that is justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Then what are the human values that enshrined in NEP 2020? The NEP 2020 mentions the importance of human values in many paragraphs, like value-based education will include the development of humanistic, ethical, constitutional and universal human values of truth, satya, righteous conduct, dharma, peace, shanti, love, prem, non-violence, ahimsa, ahimsa, scientific temper, citizenship values and also life skills. So these are the very broad human values. Truth, we must speak truth, we must experience truth, we must not um, tell a lie to anyone. We must conduct all conducts that are righteous in sense. We must ensure peace. We must avoid conflict and violence. We must serve services and towards love towards our soulmates, our classmates, our teachers, our guardians, our parents. We must practice non-violence. We must inculcate scientific temper in ourselves. We must have citizenship values like justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, and also life skills. What are life skills? There is lessons in seva or service and participation. Life skills are like 21st century skills, soft skills. Every skill comes under life skills. And lessons in seva or service, that is participation in community service programs like NSS will be or NCC will be considered an integral part of holistic education. Means NEP 2020 envisions that education must be holistic in true sense. After 2020 in India, it must inculcate values in our students, because there is gradual, there is progressive decline of values in our society. And in addition to this, human NEP 2020 envisions that the school curriculum, because values must be inculcated at very early age, not in higher education, but from school education. The school curriculum will include early on the material on human values. What sort of human values? Such as respect for all persons, empathy, tolerance, human rights, gender equality, non-violence, global citizenship, inclusion and equity. These all are very broad values and we must practice these throughout our life. It would also include more detailed knowledge of various cultures, religions, languages, gender identities, etc., to sensitize and develop respect for diversity, because this is a multicultural and multilinguistic society. Any biases and stereotypes in the school curriculum will be removed and more material will be included that is relevant and relatable to all communities. It has been written in National Education Policy 2020. If we go through in detail NEP 2020, so there are many broad values as such. That is, the National Education Policy of India emphasizes several core values that are intended to guide the educational system towards holistic development and a more inclusive society. Some of the key values enshrined in NEP 2020 include inclusivity and equity. Means we must include every individual in our educational system, no child left behind, and each child has been treated with the potential instilled in his or her. The NEP 2020 promotes equal access to quality education for all, regardless of gender, socioeconomic background, caste, religion, or physical abilities. It aims to eliminate disparities in education and ensure equitable opportunities for learning and development. Then quality and excellence. The policy emphasizes the importance of providing high quality education at all levels. It seeks to enhance the learning outcomes, improve the competency of teachers and promote excellence in educational institutions through robust academic standards and effective evaluation mechanisms. Means we must provide quality education at all levels of education and we must thrive towards excellence. Then holistic development, the NEP 2020 recognizes the need to nurture the overall development of students, not only cognitive, including their cognitive, social, emotional and physical well-being. It encourages a holistic approach that focuses on knowledge, skills, values, ethics, and character building. Then multilingualism and cultural diversity. The policy recognizes the rich linguistic and cultural diversity of India and encourages the preservation and promotion of different languages and cultures. It promotes multilingual education and the integration of local language and traditions into the curriculum. NEP 2020 has emphasized on multilingualism, and the instruction must be given in mother tongue. Ethical and moral values. The NEP 2020 places a strong emphasis on fostering ethical values, moral character, and social responsibility among students. It seeks to inculcate values such as honesty, compassion, integrity, respect for others, and a sense of social justice. And environmental consciousness. There is a degradation in environmental concern. There is rampant environmental pollution everywhere. So the policy also recognizes the urgent need to address environmental challenges and instills environmental consciousness and sustainability values in education. It promotes environmental education, conservation practices, and the integration of environmental issues into the curriculum. Digital literacy and technology integration. This is digital era. We cannot live, we cannot survive with excluding the technology from any part of the life, and same is true for education also. The NEP 2020 acknowledges the significance of digital literacy and technology in the modern world. It encourages the integration of technology in teaching and learning processes to enhance access, engagement, and innovations in education. Then critical thinking and creativity. The policy emphasizes the development of critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity among students. It aims to nurture a spirit of inquiry, analytical skills, and the ability to think independently and creatively. The world is of creative people now. And the concept of lifelong learning. The NEP 2020 recognizes the importance of lifelong learning and the need for continuous skill development throughout an individual's life. NEP 2020 also has very special, very forced emphasis on skill inclusion component of skill in our educational system. It promotes a flexible and multidisciplinary approach to education that prepares students for future challenges and adaptability. And the concept of global citizenship, because we must produce our students that can be that can face the challenges of global world, not only India. The policy encourages students to develop a global outlook, cross cultural understanding, and a sense of global citizenship. It promotes the internationalization of education, global collaborations, and exposure to diverse perspectives and experiences. These values serve as guiding principles to shape the education system and promote holistic development, inclusivity, and societal progress as envisioned by the National Education Policy 2020. So, how can we conclude this very, you can say, deliberation? NEP 2020 has articulated human aspirations. Education must be fundamental for achieving full human potential, developing an equitable and just society, and promoting national development. It envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. It has been written in the document of NEP 2020. The policy envisages that the curriculum and pedagogy of our institutions must develop among these students a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental duties and constitutional values, that is, justice, equality, fraternity, and international brotherhood, and all. Bonding with one's country and a conscious awareness of one's roles and responsibilities in a changing world. The vision of the policy is to instill among the learners a deep rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thought but also in spirit, intellect, and deeds, as well as to develop knowledge, skills, values, and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and living, and global well being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. So, we can say that if we follow the guidelines of NEP 2020 towards inclusion of value education in our education system, towards instilling values in our students, then our future must be more bright, peaceful, and just and equitable. So it was all about the value education and NEP 2020. So thank you all.